So, starting with what we already know, which is slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form? Mx plus b. So go ahead and write in mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the slope. Okay. So, little review. Writing the equation of the line with a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of -6. So, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. M becomes 3. B becomes bingo. But there's other forms. There's point slope form and there's standard form. So today and on Friday we're working on point slope form, and it's on your formula chart. So you don't have to memorize it. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. A little bit like that warm-up, right? So if I go back to the warm-up, I'll let y'all write that. Everybody got it down? Okay. If we go back to that warm-up, what was this formula? Slope-intercept. No, not slope-intercept. That's just slope, right? How to find the slope. And then point slope. But you actually have to replace these with an actual point. So, going back to our notes, m is still the slope, and x1, y1 is any point from the line. Point slope form can be written with any point that is on the line. So all of these questions that you guys have been doing where it says like the slope is 3 and it passes through 3, 3, right? Instead of trying to substitute and find b, you can just write it in point slope form. It's faster. Sometimes you'll have to move it back to slope intercept form, but it's a lot faster. Okay. So write the equation with a slope of 2 that goes through the point 4, -3. So, m is 2, and x1, y1 is 4, -3, right? Based on what we just talked about. So when you take the form itself, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, I'm going to replace my slope and my point. Okay? So what's not going to change? Y and x. They're still going to be y and x. So when I plug in my slope for m, but see, we have subtraction. So if my y value is -3, y minus -3, y plus 3. X minus 4. Done. That's point slope. What do you think? Nope. It says write it in point slope form. You're done. Okay, so try that. Try plugging the points in. They give you the slope, they give you the points. So take about 3 minutes or so. Do 1 and 2 for me. All right. Number 1. Minus 9
equals negative 2x minus 2.
Very good. Number 2.
Y plus 1 equals 4x plus 3.
Very good. Okay, so I'm sure that you guys have already probably noticed that my most common mistake is usually the signs. Right? Just make sure that you know that the formula starts with subtraction. So if you throw in a negative, it's going to flip that sign. All right. You're given 2 points, but not the slope. So, same scenario that we've already been dealing with. If you're dealing with point-slope form, you need the slope and a point. So if you have 2 points, what do you still have to find? The slope. Okay, so using the slope formula or using your t-chart, however you like to find slope, we've got negative 1, 4, and 5, 8. So my y change is what? 4. My x change is 6. And 4, oh, I said 4, I wrote 6. Special. 4 over 6 is 2 over 3. So, my slope is 2/3. Now, should you be faced with a question like this, unless they are very specific about which point you use, because sometimes they will be, they'll say, like, use the first point. If it doesn't say, use whichever point you want. So, we could have 2 separate equations for this, right? I could use the first point, and it would be y minus 4 equals 2/3 times x plus 1. Or y minus 8 equals 2/3 x minus 5. Either of these are correct. So just adding that additional step of finding the slope, but that shouldn't be any hassle for us, right? Okay, so we do 3 and 4. Alright, number 3.
Y minus 2 equals 3x plus 8.
Equals what?
3x plus 8.
What's the slope?
Oh, 3.
3. If you have y minus 8 equals 3 times x plus 6, then that works. Okay, number 4.
Y equals 3x minus 8.
Or
Y minus 17 equals 3x minus 4.
okay, now real quick about this, if you just want to write y minus 5 equals 3x, it would be the same thing. Okay. Which quickly gets you to slope intercept form too, right? Ah, Sherlock a clue. Alright. If we know the slope and the point, we can use point-slope form first and then rewrite it in slope-intercept form. So write the equation with a slope of 2 that goes through 4, negative 3 in slope-intercept form. So now, all that time, if you still like to plug in the point and as x and y and solve for b, you can do that. But this is also another route. I have y minus or plus? Plus 3 equals 2 times x minus 4. So if I'm trying to get it to y equals mx plus b, hold up. Okay, obviously we're trying to isolate what? Y. Let's distribute 2 first. So, now Archie, what's this one?
Y equals to 2x minus y.
Well, it will start out as 2x minus 8, right? 2x minus 8. You are correct. Because then you subtract 3 and you get y equals 2x minus 11. Not bad. In fact, lots of times easier than trying to solve 4D. Okay, 5 and 6 are yours. Okay, check your answers. We good? If anything happened, it was most likely just a sign issue.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put phones away, please. Thank you. Alright. Last one. 2 points in slope-intercept form. Can I still use point-slope form to start? Yes. Anytime that you're given points that do not involve the y-intercept, I would always start with point-slope form. Always. It's going to be your easiest approach. What if what? Then I would go slope-intercept form. Okay. So, 3, 4, and 5, 8. First, I have to find the slope. What's my change in y? 4. What's my change in x? Slope? 2. Okay. Which point do you want to use, the first or the second? Second. First. Let's go with the first. Let's go with the first. It doesn't matter if you use the second. If you use the second, you'll get the same answer as us. Y minus 4, I'm using the first one, is equivalent to 2 times x minus 3. Then, rewrite in slope-intercept form. So after I distribute 2, y minus 4 is equivalent to 2x minus 6. Add 4, y equals 2x minus 2. Okay, and then you got 2 more for us to check together in a couple of minutes, and then you can start working on that separate page. Okay, go ahead and check with number 8. With number 8, please, if you're asked to write something in slope-intercept form and they give you the y-intercept, be mindful to be reasonable and not use the other point. Okay? It'll get you there, but where will I spend less time working? The first one that has the y-intercept. Okay, so let's quickly discuss. I want to talk about the graphs on this page because we haven't discussed how to graph from point slope form, but looking at this problem here, when you're talking about point slope form, what is given to you? Slope and a point. Slope and a point. You do not have to turn it into slope-intercept form. It's not necessary. I have a slope of -3, and I have a point. If it's y plus 4, what does that mean for my y value? -4, because the formula has a subtraction, so if it's plus, it started out as negative. Okay, and x plus 2, so -2. Start with that point. So -2, -4 is your first point. From there, you're using your slope to graph the rest. Well, obviously, I can't go down 3 and right 1, so I'm going to go up 3 and left 1. Now, if you would have gone through the time to turn that into slope-intercept form, what problem would you have run into? The y-intercept is not on the graph. That's it. It would be down here. Okay? So with point slope form, use the point that's given and the slope to find the other ones. Alright? So then same thing if the graph is given. If it says use the right hand point, so let's do this first one together, number 11. If the right hand point is right here, we need to find out what is that point first of all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And then my slope, what's the slope of that line? Negative 1/4. So now I have enough to write my point slope form. It would be y minus 3 equals what?
Negative 1/4 times x.
Minus 4. Okay? Alright, so now, reminder, this homework is due Friday. We won't have time to check it tomorrow. I just said time to check it on tomorrow because you have a quiz tomorrow. Alright? Yes.
Number 16 on the bottom, the second point is the
Number 16. Oh, it should just be 7, -2. Thank you. Okay. Good.